And we're back on our show this Wednesday. Wayne Denley with us from CLEDA. A number of topics to hit on. The Rollo tour came through Alexandria this past Friday. The budget, higher ed, and the issues with that. And Wayne, first of all, welcome. Good to have you. A lot to talk about, actually.
Yeah, a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
We have
What
a lot
happened
going
last
on.
Friday?
Well, Friday, Dr. Rollo came through. He had a public meeting Friday afternoon at City Hall. We had pretty good participation, and he's doing this wherever he can in the state. Of course, he comes to Central Louisiana about once a month anyway to check in on the colleges here. But the message on Friday was about the budget and the upcoming issues that before the legislature about funding higher ed. And so he gave a lot of statistics on that. It was covered in the town talk pretty well, but he's promoting the idea that as many students as possible and faculty and any interested parties that want to help us preserve higher ed in Louisiana go to Baton Rouge today on the steps of the Capitol. They're looking for at least 2,000 more people to send a message to our legislators that they've got to preserve higher ed.
Do we have folks coming from here, going from
Yes,
here?
there's people from Louisiana College, as well as Central Louisiana Technical Community College and Northwestern.
LSU.
And LSUA,
Yeah.
excuse me. All of them are going.
Okay.
So there'll be good representation, but if anybody in the community wants to go, and of course it's a good week to notify your representatives and senators that you want solutions on that as well. There's a lot of moving parts in this whole process. It'll probably be a multi-year process, and it'll be one step at a time. The main thing in this session is to get it done quickly.
Right.
Last year, they didn't know the final outcome of the cuts they were going to have to address to the last hour of the last day of the session. So they do tend to debate, and kick the can down the road as long as they can. So to try to avoid that kind of behavior and get on with some more definitive solutions, or whatever the pain may be.
There will be cuts. We just don't know how
There will be
severe.
cuts, and there will probably be revenue improvements, a combination of both. And it'll probably take several years to flesh all that out. But we know there's pain coming this time, just don't know how deep it is.
Yeah,
Right.
we've got about 2 more weeks
Right.
of that. Okay, you're also here to promote a Louisiana Economic Development luncheon coming up, right?
Yes, that's Monday, the 29th, and we do that every quarter. We bring in somebody on the topic of economic development that would provide some additional information for our community. This time we're bringing in the new Secretary of Louisiana Department of Economic Development, Don Pearson. He was just appointed by Governor Edwards, and he's been in the business for some 27 years, and he's been with LED for the last 10 years. So he's served as an assistant secretary for 10 years, has done a lot of work in Central Louisiana, so we're very familiar with him and looking forward to working with him. And he's the primary contact on behalf of the governor for all governmental agencies, all economic development issues. He's the point person.
Again, an area in the state where, from what we understand, a lot of money's being shipped out of state, a lot of waste, when it could be spent in Louisiana, as far as Louisiana economic development.
You're talking about maybe incentives?
Contracts.
Yeah, there's contracts. Now, that's not LED's department on contracts, but he is heavily involved in focused incentives that can induce or convince businesses to either expand here or locate here. So it's big in the area of recruitment, especially with manufacturing and industrial concerns.
Okay.
Back to the higher ed issues, Wayne. The visit they had here Friday. How severe did they? Or looking ahead a little bit, did they really give you a forecast of what could happen?
Yes, although it wasn't a forecast, but it's a worst and best case scenario.
Right. I think it was.
And I think and of course this is all subject to any change on one day. If one of the legislators had a better idea, then all of this could change. Worst case might be a cut of 27%. Excuse me, best case. Worst case, given what they knew on Friday, it could be closer to 50%, and there could be some, all kind of serious ramifications from that. So it's hard to understand just what the mood of the legislature is and the political will to do what needs to be done finally.
Okay. And once again, getting back to the quarterly and innovation luncheon, when and where?
That'll be Monday.
Okay.
At Convention Hall. You need to make your reservations now. You can do that by going online to register with CLEDA.org, our new website.
Checked it out. Great looking
Or
website.
you can call 441-3400.
Perfect.
All right. Wayne, thanks for dropping by. Good to have you this morning.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
The art crawl, the first ever art crawl. We'll tell you all about that when we come back.